Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon to all our 12th Monarchs out there in Monarch Nation. 3 weeks of camp in the books, and now it's time for some football. You're always hopeful when you come out of preseason camp. Unlike the NFL that has games they play, and at times they have some devastating injuries early in camp, where we don't have games we play other opponents. It's basically intra-squad scrimmages, and we're very mindful of trying to remain as healthy as we could through preseason. Looking back to years ago, we would come out of camp. We had a couple seasons we came out and we were just banged up. We were injured. And one thing I've learned is that if you want to be successful, you need to have your players on the field when you start playing games. So I feel really good about where we are health-wise. Other than a few bumps and bruises, we should have a full complement of our guys going into this. And that's also good for the players. And they worked all 12 weeks this summer. They were here. They go through 3 weeks of camp and then a week leading into a game. That's 16 weeks they're prepping for the opportunity to run out that tunnel and play. So we'll have 90 players right now that are competing for 70 spots. This is the most depth we've ever had. This is the biggest challenge we've ever had to put together a travel roster that'll continue throughout the week based on the way our players are performing right now. We've still got to make some decisions on depth, but we all feel good as a coaching staff about the fact that we've got the amount of talent and the amount of guys competing for spots. We return 50 players that have experience from last year. There's 23 on offense, 24 on defense, and then 3 specialists that have experience. Whether you call guys returning starters or you don't call them returning starters, I really don't care about that. I care more about guys that have played, that have experience, and to have 50 players going into it that have that experience makes me feel really good as the head coach. We announced earlier this morning Blake LaRussa will start at quarterback. Blake has earned the right to be the starter. This is his 3rd year in the program. He's somebody that came to us initially. He was a walk-on, then he earned a scholarship. He earned the backup quarterback position last year during the season. I have a really good memory of Blake last year in a critical situation before the half against Florida International when David Washington was hurt. He came in, he led us on a 2-minute drive down the field, completed 6 of 8 passes in a pressure situation. And there's no more pressure situation for a quarterback than a 2-minute drill. You got to run the operation, you got to do it quickly, you got to do it efficiently. And Blake did that coming off the bench and did that. So felt good about him from that moment, and then what he did in the offseason, spring ball, the summer. I know our team feels good about Blake going into it. I talked to Blake. I talked to all the quarterbacks this morning. I met with all 4 of them and with Ron Wickham, our quarterback coach, and explained to him that Blake's the guy. Blake's the guy going into it, but it could be similar to last year when we started the season with David Washington. David had played a lot of quarterback, and we talked to all the quarterbacks about they needed to be ready to play. We played 3 quarterbacks in the first half of last year's first game, and then David established himself as the quarterback and went on and had an excellent year. So hopefully Blake will be the guy. He'll go on and have an excellent year, but like we do with every position on the team, we'll have everybody ready to play. All 4 quarterbacks know that they need to be ready to play, and that'll be the mindset going into it. Speaking to our opponent, Albany was 7-4 last year, had a really good year. I've watched every one of their games. They play good football. They play in the CAA, which is a really good league. I thought they were good enough to be a playoff team last year, and they return a veteran team this year. They're well disciplined. They're well coached. They're a lot like us in that they don't turn the ball over a lot, or at least they didn't last year. They take the ball away. They only average 5 penalties per game, which speaks to the coaching and discipline. That's the same number of penalties we averaged last year. So I expect this will be a challenge for our football team. The thing with openers is it's the great unknown. When every opening game of every season is the great unknown. You don't have scrimmages. You don't play other teams. So you're trying to figure out not only who your team is, but who the opponent is as well. And we'll hopefully have some success early in this football game. That always builds confidence when you have success early. And last thing I said to our team last night in our meeting is we'll stay focused on the process of winning, which for us is how we plan and prepare during the week, and then how we executed on Saturday with a goal of being 1-0. And I will gladly take questions if you have any.
Bobby, what do you see as Blake's strengths just at the quarterback position? What does he bring to the table as a first-time starter, as a guy who's been in the program for 3 years now?
Yeah, the number one thing is he's got escapability, his ability to get out of the pocket, the ability to move within the pocket, and he's had a lot of practice at that through the spring and the summer against our defensive line. That ability to escape, and he can make plays with his feet, he can make plays on the run, and he protects the football. That's what he's shown so far. Now, in terms of games, we'll evaluate it and see when he gets in a game, how is his level of poise? Does he protect the football when he's in the game? But everything I've seen through practice makes me feel really good about him being the starter.
Any other questions for Coach? Bobby, I know you're usually an early to bed kind of guy. But
Yes, sir.
Did you watch Taylor last night?
I just couldn't make it, Harry. I was trying. I was fighting. But then they started the fourth quarter and he wasn't in. He had told us he thought he was playing the fourth. They started it with Keenum. So I said, I guess he's not going to play. His ribs really bothering him. I mean, he's hurt right now, and he's trying to play through it, which makes that performance last night even more remarkable, because if you can just imagine when you rib and you're trying to throw the ball as a quarterback, it's like getting stuck with a knife every time you try to throw the ball. And Wickham talked to him this morning, and he knew he needed to play. He knew he needed to go out there. There's limited opportunities right now for him to put himself on video. Hopefully it's with the Vikings, but if not, you're auditioning for somebody else. That's what preseason is when you're in a position like Taylor is. And for him to do that and have that success, that was the talk of the building early this morning, amongst all the coaches and the players. Everybody was pretty excited, and Rashad played pretty well yesterday. Not as glorious, nobody wants to watch the D lineman in there mucking it up, in the center, but it was good to see Rashad. He got some reps against the Titans. One O-line, I was messaging with him before I came down here, and he was pretty excited with his performance. So, yeah, that was special. Did you stay and watch it? Did you see Taylor? Did you? Yeah, I heard the Al Michaels replay of it. Al was excited. Riffing off some Old Dominion stats and the whole deal. Yeah, that was great. That was really that was great. I was excited for him. And Zach, I don't think I've ever seen that one before. The punter. Did you guys see that?
He hasn't seen it either.
No, he was joking that from now on he's going to hit the punter. But that'll definitely be NFL if you do that, hit the punter and get the penalty. All is well. Pulling for him.
Any
Hoping
other
they do
questions
well.
for Coach?
All right, thank you all for coming. Have a great day, 12th Monarchs. We'll see you Saturday night, 6 p.m.